I'm Tom from Do-It-Yourself Home Automation, and this is a look at optimizing the amount of power that you're getting out of a small off-grid solar panel system. So at the moment I've got my Renogy system set up here. This is a 100-watt panel, and I've got three 50-watt panels going over here. And this is 250 watts nominally. It's probably a bit less because it's not great to mix wattages. So say it's 200 watts that I'm actually theoretically achieving here, then I should be getting a fair amount of current out of these. At the moment, I'm seeing that my maximum generation is about 11 amps. So that's a bit less than I would expect. 11 amps at 12 volts is about 130 watts, whereas again, I would hope to get at least around 200 out of this system. So I'm going to look at some different ways to optimize that. The first thing I'm noticing is that these panels have gotten kind of dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and take some Windex and just clean them off like you would clean windows. Okay, so these are much cleaner. You can see there's a lot of pollen that had built up. And I'm at about 11.2 amps now, so slightly better. Not a huge improvement though. So I'm going to go ahead and try to angle them a little bit better to the sun. Okay, so I've got this at almost like a 45-degree angle, and I'm now up to about 13 amps. So that made a big difference to go from 10 to 13. That's pretty substantial, 40 additional watts or so. It's almost like adding another panel. So the angle definitely seems to make a huge difference here. Let's see if I can, I'm at about 13 amps on the Adventurer charge controller. I'm going to try these ones are a little harder because all the cabling is behind them. I'm going to try laying my 100-watt panel totally flat. Let's see how that does, or at least getting it into a much more dramatic angle there. Okay, yeah, so now we're at 13.2 amps. Try to get these a little bit flatter. Okay, so we're running at 13.4 amps here. So that's pretty good. We've gained almost 4 amps out of just making those small tweaks, cleaning the panels, getting them into a bit steeper of an angle where they're getting a lot more direct exposure to the sun. That's going to eat quite a lot more power out of this system. So you can see small tweaks like that do make a big difference. So I think one question is, why are we still maybe a little bit behind the theoretical, nominal power? I think probably the biggest reason is that this is getting very hot. So this is direct sun exposure. It's April. Panels, if I feel them, they're very, very hot to the touch. So when you're heating the panels up, you're going to lose a certain amount of efficiency just because they don't perform as well when they're hot. So that's probably what's happening here. We're probably just losing a certain amount of efficiency to the fact that these are hot. And that means that, if I was running this in the winter, a comparable level of sun exposure, we might be able to get an even higher value, probably closer to the nominal 200 watts that we'd be hoping to achieve from this. Very simple, changing the angle by maybe 20, 30 degrees and doing some cleaning. We've already, basically added almost a third of capacity to the system. So that's really great to see, and keep tweaking that to try to get the best possible results.